Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 3. First thing, need to ask you for a little grace. Not in my usual attire, as you might be able to tell. I worked out, then went to a Bible study, then ran through a thunderstorm, so I don't exactly look my best. But I still wanted to talk with you about this week. So we've got the competency facilitate learner development and socialization. Now, if you look in the Halstead book, again, there's quite a list of the different content areas that encompass this competency. The thing that I'd like to focus on is the socialization piece. Facilitating learner development can be a very intellectual process, teaching pathophysiology and medications and all that sort of thing that we need as nurses. But the socialization piece, how do we teach nurses how to act and think like nurses, or what we think nurses should be acting and thinking like? I'm going to include an article. It was actually from a news feed that I get through Sigma Theta Tau, and it talks about can you teach people to care? Interesting topic, because as we work with nurses in the field and with students, sometimes we can see people who truly deeply care about helping their fellow man. Then sometimes we see students who maybe seem to be more motivated by a steady paycheck, right? And so how do we get our students to really get into the mindset of being a nurse? And so I want to talk a little bit about that this week in the main forum. Go ahead and read the article, see what you think. Do you really think that we can teach students and staff to care? One of the things that I used to teach is kind of the fake it till you make it. Okay, so I would really focus on the specific behaviors that demonstrate caring. For instance, when I was a staff nurse on a busy surgical trauma unit, I was lucky. I usually had a 5-patient assignment, although they were quite high acuity. But I really felt that it was important that the start of every single shift, that when I went in to assess my patient, that I first sat at the bedside. Now you might think, oh my gosh, how does a staff nurse have time to sit at the bedside? But honestly, it saved me time in the long run. I would ask my patient, I usually worked day shift or afternoons. Sometimes I worked staggered shifts. So how did your night go? How did your day go? Have you been able to sleep? What is your pain like? What concerns do you have about your plan of care? Really kind of a synopsis of what was happening with that patient and what were they concerned about that I could address during that shift. And so I talked to my students about sitting with their patient. I talked to them about appropriate touch that could convey a sense of caring. Just different things like that, that for some people it was kind of the fake it till you make it. But I'm really interested in your thoughts. We've all seen those staff nurses who maybe are technically very proficient, but they can't really demonstrate or get across that sense of caring. So I'll be interested to hear your thoughts this week on if you think this is possible. If so, how do we go about doing it? Anyway, I think it's an interesting topic in academia, especially with the nursing shortage. We are trying to get so many students into nursing through that program and out functioning so that we're not working short-staffed all the time. So I'd like to include that in our conversation this week. So if I'm correct, no assignments this week, yay! And if you have any questions about the feedback that I gave you on last week's NEPD, since that was the first time you turned it in, a couple of you have sent me a note in the forum, which is great. If there's anything that just, it's hard to put into words in writing, feel free to give me a call. Cell phone number 801-577-4100. We can talk about it. I want to make sure everybody's starting off on the right foot with the NEPD because you're going to be turning in every 2 weeks throughout the course. And I want to make sure you've got the concepts. So don't hesitate to call me. It's not a big deal. All right, I think that's about it for this week. And I just look forward to our discussions. I'll see you in the main forum.